Figures in African folklore are often used to teach moral lessons like courage, the importance of communal living, and the consequences of greed or bad behavior. It's another interesting episode of African literature on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA. I am Nena Basi. Stay glued.
African legendary and literature are deeply rooted in oral traditions, including myths, folk tales, epics, and proverbs passed down through generations using the instrumentality of spoken words. This rich oral heritage includes tales of legendary African heroes like warrior queens Nzinga of Ndongo, Amina of Zobzo, freedom fighters such as Kwame Nkrumah, anti-apartheid activists like Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, his son in particular.
What really motivated me to write this very book, The Legend of Buratai, I did it to motivate my second child, that's my oldest son, because he is somehow a bit lackadaisical in his academic pursuits and with his view about life. He is the oldest, but in class and at so many other fora, he tends to, he has this lackadaisical attitude to life. He doesn't care with reading his books, copying his notes. And the younger brother is doing far better than him. And you would think you would challenge him because, you're younger, he doesn't care. So, but at a time, I just discovered whenever he saw Buratai on TV, he got motivated by that. I said, okay, thank God. Since he has been saying that he wants to be like this man, whenever he sees it on TV, I can craft a story from the life of this very individual and see if whether it can motivate him. It has no any economic thought about it. Maybe you want to write books, sell, make money. No, it's just for this single child that I wrote it. In summary, is to motivate, to inspire my son and other children.
Sani Abubakar takes us through the rigorous research undertaken to put up the story.
My visit to the local government, Buratai as a town. By the way, I hope you know Buratai is the name of a village. Yes, it's just that, because of his success, his fame, he somehow colonized that name, and a lot of people are thinking Buratai is the name of an individual, it's the name of a village. So, one of my findings, I gleaned through interviews and folklore and asking people that in 1560, the king of Biu, then they call him Yantarwala, who came from the Kanem Borno Emirates. I think he left there because they refused to make him king. They took his younger brother, so he left Gazargamu and headed to Biu. So he made one of his sages, all those soothsayers or whatever, is a prophet, or I don't know what to call the proper nomenclature for that, what will befall his kingdom. He told him, after your demise, 4 great men will emerge from this after every 100 years. And not long afterward, he died. So he died in 1560. Say after every 100 years. If you take a critical look at this very prophecy or this very prophetic word, 1560, 1660, 1760, 1860, 1960, that is the 400 year. So on the 400 year, one person will imagine that will be greater than all the three. He said it. So Buratai was born November 24th, 1960. So they have it, they believe that, his birth is legendary.
His choice of the central character of the work is explained.
As I was writing it, I realized that this very character is an interesting character. His diligence, his patience, his track record in Angon Sarikin Muslimi Primary School in Kaduna, his track record in La Misla Primary School in Maiduguri, Kirikasama Primary School, Teachers College, Potiskum. I went to all those schools.
Storytelling is a timeless tool for passing knowledge, values, and many more from one generation to another.
Storytelling, that's the number one medium that parents can use to teach their children, even teachers. Before you start the theoretical, strenuous, academic, whatever, stories are what good teachers usually use to get the attention of their class. Afterward, they now break down and, explain the theories and the whatever. So parents must know that there is no way they can even teach, educate, enlighten, instruct their children without stories. When I was growing up, my father, he dropped at primary 3, doesn't even know how to read and write. But what he used to teach me, to educate me, to teach me about values and whatever is stories. Understand? Some of those stories are real, he would just create it. Some, he was equally told about them by his parents and his uncles and whatever. So parents must know this. Stories can never be outdated.
Some issues raised in the work include patriotism, religious tolerance, discipline, diligence, and others.
I looked at the issue of patriotism. One problem with this country is many of us are not patriotic to this flag, to this country. I think we are more attached to our ethnic to our religious cycle and so on. But to Nigeria as a country, the old national pledge and anthem, I used part of it where I said, we are taking oaths. We are making oath every day. I pledge to Nigeria that I will be faithful, loyal, and honest. And then at the end, we don't do that. Now we've dropped that very pledge and anthem, but as of then, that was what. So I looked in the issue of patriotism. Then the other one is religious tolerance. There is no way all of us can be Christians or all of us can be Muslims. Some will be Christians, some will be Muslim. You go to Edo and part of Oshogo, you see traditionalists. We have atheists now in the country. We should be able to tolerate one another and not just tolerate, respect one another. You understand? Even in the Islamic faith and the Christian faith, you see so many different sects. You have to just tolerate. There is no way. The beauty of life is like a rainbow, different colors. Just accept it, let it be. Live and let's live. It's diligence that leads to excellence. And once you have excellence in whatever you do, you will shine. This shortcuts, whatever, cannot, bring excellence. And this very principal character of the book used this diligence when he was a student. It was through this diligence he was able to develop excellence. It becomes a habit. And at the end, see where it has taken him. You understand? Ending up as Nigeria's longest chief of army staff. So these values, were some of the areas. Then it's important I say this. I equally address the issue of terrorism.
Symbolism and metaphors are some of the literary tools deployed in writing the piece.
Metaphors a lot in the book, then symbolism here and there.
Sani speaks on the importance of writers using African legends in different walks of life to inspire the young generation of readers.
We should identify Nigerians who are doing well in their spheres, in their areas of responsibility, and write about them, document about them. to inspire our young ones.
The central character, Tukur Buratai, is described in these words by Sani.
He is a transformational leader. I think that's one word that I would use to describe him. And many people who have written books on him in the Nigerian Army War College, Jaji and so on, whenever they're writing their thesis or their projects, that's how they describe him. He's a transformational military leader. And I think he is one Nigerian who always stands for justice, equity. When he was Chief of Army Staff, you will notice virtually every section of this country was represented. You will hear of General Lamidi Adeoshu featured prominently. You will see General Ambazo from Nasarawa featured prominently. You will see General Victor Ezugu from, I think, Enugu featured prominently. And he will give them tasks, responsibilities, assignment, provide all that they need for them to go execute. And whenever successes have been achieved, he will not take the credit, he will share it. You see, that's a leader. You share credit with your team. You understand? It's not everything. You just assemble people, they achieve something, then you take the credit. No, let Nigerians know them. You understand? So he is one Nigerian who knows how to identify talents. For someone who would give 40 years of his life in the military and still be able to put an eye and keep tab on his children and make sure that they are, no, I think he is an all-round leader that deserves commendation.
The author of The Legend of Buratai, Volume 1, Sani Mohammed Abubakar, ended the session with these words to Africa's young generation.
The African child can succeed, can compete in this global world that we live in today if he or she is not diligent, is not thorough, has no loyalty, has no patience, has no discipline. Success will await such a child. And one thing with these virtues, you have to cultivate them at a very early stage of your life. If there is anything I would say the African child must know that his or her life is his responsibility. I used to tell children, I said, your parents have done the best they could do for you. They have sent you to school. You are doing this learning for your own good. You think it is for your father or your mother. It is for your own good. Whatever you are doing from your primary one, you are drawing. You are drawing your portrait. If you like, do a shabby one. If you like, do a good one. At the end is you are drawing your life. As you make your bed, so you lie on it. You better take charge of your life and know that you are responsible at a very early stage. And for you to be fully responsible and to live this your life very well, you must know there are certain principles. Life is anchored on principles, not on spirituality. Say we are praying this and that. No, there are principles. Like, for example, the principle of diligence. You will have to be thorough, meticulous in whatever you do. If you do that for a certain time, you see excellence will be attached to you. People will know you with excellence. That's a principle. You have to be very patient. You have to endure. You have to allow time for things to germinate, to come to fruition. Then the issue of delayed gratification. We live in a society where there is this get-rich-quick syndrome. Young minds must know that this is the road that leads to perdition. They must avoid it. You understand? Then the issue of tolerance. They must tolerate others. Then one cardinal thing the African child must never do away with. They say, the Quran said it, the Bible said it, they say, honor thy father and thy mother so that you may live long. Children tend to think as if, maybe because you have gone to university, your father did not go to university, who the hell does he think he is? He talked back. Understand? You don't do that. You understand? So the African child must know that honoring parents is non-negotiable. You understand? In fact, They must know that your father, your mother, they can never be wrong. You lack those credentials to say you will judge them and say whether they may be wrong, but you don't want to know it. You understand? That is the only way they can do anything and prosper in it. By and large, I would say they must read.
Myths, fables, and legends are folk narratives used to educate the younger generation in a more vivid approach. Legendary as a literary device is our focus on the next segment.
Legends in literature are traditionally passed down stories rooted in historical persons, places, or events, but with exaggerated or supernatural elements added to create a heroic or impactful narrative that reflects cultural values and beliefs. They often contain miraculous or fantastical elements that embody the cultural values, beliefs, and ideals of the community from which it originates. Unlike myth, which explains the origins of the world and the gods, legends typically focus on human heroes, their deeds, and specific events from a more recent or often distant past. The word legend comes from the medieval Latin word legenda, meaning things to be read. This origin refers to the practice in medieval churches of reading narratives of saints' lives on their feast days. These stories of saints' miracles and martyrdoms were the primary legends of the time. Over the centuries, the term broadened to include any remarkable story handed down from generation to generation, moving from a purely religious context to a secular one. Types of legends in literature. Legends can be categorized into several types based on their subject matter. 1. National or founding legends. These stories concern the origins of a nation, city, or people. They often feature a great leader or hero who performs extraordinary feats to establish a community. 2. Heroic legends. This focuses on a single, supernatural hero whose character traits like bravery, strength, cunning, or loyalty are celebrated and exaggerated. Their adventures form a circle of stories. 3. Religious legends. Stemming from their original divination, these are stories of the lives, miracles, and martyrdoms of saints or other religious figures. 4. Local or place-based legends. This explains the origin of a local geographical feature, such as a mountain, lake, or strange rock formation. 5. Contemporary or urban legends. Modern folklore consisting of stories often believed to be true by the teller involving unusual, humorous, or terrifying events related to contemporary life. They frequently serve as cautionary tales. Usage of legends in literature. Authors use legends and legendary frameworks for several key purposes. A. To add depth and verisimilitude. By referencing a well-known legend, an author can tap into a shared cultural history, making their fictional world feel richer, older, and more believable. B. As a structural framework. A story can be built directly upon a pre-existing legend or use its structure to explore more themes. C. For symbolism and allegory. The figures and events in legends are often archetypal. An author can use them to symbolize larger concepts like good versus evil, the request for identity, or the nature of leadership. D. To explore theme. Legends allow writers to explore universal themes such as honor, sacrifice, love, and betrayal, all within a grand and elevated context. E. Character development. A character's relationship to a legend, that is, believing in it, rejecting it, or being compared to it, can be a powerful tool for revealing their personality and motivations. Importance of legends. Legends are crucial to literature and culture because they preserve cultural identity. They are a repository for a culture's values, fears, and aspirations, ensuring they are passed to future generations. Provide moral instructions. Many legends function as cautionary tales, teaching lessons about virtues like courage, honesty, and perseverance, and the consequences of vices like greed and hubris. It explains the unexplained. Before modern science, legends provided explanations for natural phenomena and historical events. Legends create a sense of wonder. That is, they connect the mundane human world to a more epic and mysterious past, satisfying a deep human need for wonder and the extraordinary.
People read. People love to read. Others are voracious about reading. On our arts composition segment today, we'll bring you an African who does all that we have described earlier.
Legend of Buratai, Volume 1 is a
This is a wrap on today's edition. Till we'll come your way again, same time next week. Reflect on this African wise saying. Bye.